Hello again, my little mathematicians. I strongly recommend that you do this entire worksheet, which is our study guide, covering all the different things that we've done in the geometry unit, finding the area of parallelograms, which includes rectangles, squares, trapezoids, rhombuses, and then of course also of triangles and composite shapes and surface area and volume, and then even doing those types of things on the coordinate plane. So this is page 17 through 19 in your packet. Go ahead and solve them, and then watch the video to check yourself that you did it right. And if you want to do it problem by problem and hit pause, try it and go back, that's fine. Or if you just want to try it all and then watch it, whatever suits your fancy. So let's get a head start and start number 1. First one says, find the area of the figure below. It doesn't tell you what it is, but hopefully you know that's a triangle. And the formula for area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height, or base times height divided by 2. The height comes down perpendicularly, and it connects the height to the base. So that 8 there is just to confuse you. It's if they were finding the perimeter, I would need to know that. But they didn't ask me that. They said find the area. So my base is 10, my height is 6, and I'm going to divide that by 2. I can go ahead and cross cancel if I want, and 2 goes into 10 5 times, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So now you have 5 times 6 is 30. 30 over 1 is just 30. And my units were centimeters, so it's area, which means it is centimeters squared. Okay, if you got that one right, great job. Okay, number 2. It says graph the following set of points. Remember that the first one is x, and so if it's positive, you go to the right. If it's negative, you go to the left. And the second number in the parentheses is y. If it's positive, you go up. If it's negative, you go down. So it's 6, 1, so go right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then up 1. The second one is right 2 and up 1, 2, 3, 4. That was E. And then F is left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 1, 2, 3, 4. That's F. And then the final point is left 1 and up 1, and that's G. Go ahead and connect your 4 points, okay, and that was point D. And then there you have your shape. This is a parallelogram. Well, the formula for area of a parallelogram is base times height. So I need to know the base length, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the height, it's not this, it's the perpendicular height. So straight from top to bottom. It's 1, 2, 3. So it has a perpendicular height of 3 units. Well, 7 times 3 is 21, and it didn't tell me what units they are, so I'm just going to say units squared. Okay, for our next one, this is a composite shape, and it's made up of a triangle on top of, is that a rectangle or a square? Well, if you see that little tick mark right here, that means that this is the same as this. And then opposite sides are congruent when you're talking about a rectangle. So if this is 12, so is this. So to find the area of this composite shape, you're going to take the area of a triangle and add the area of that bottom rectangle. Well, the formula for a triangle is base times height divided by 2. And then the formula for a parallelogram is base times height. I'm going to go ahead and change pens because this one's dying. Okay. For my triangle, this is the base right here, which is the same as this. So it has a base length of 12. The height, well, they said this whole thing is 17. And we've already established that from here to here is 12. So 12 plus what is 17? You said 5. Good job. Okay. 12 times 5. And then for your rectangle, it's 12 times 12. There's your base, there's your height. 2 goes into 12 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30, and 12 times 12 is 144. Go ahead and add those together, and 30 plus 144 gives you 174. And our units were centimeters, so it's centimeters squared. Okay, now we're getting a little bit more complicated. We're being asked to find the surface area. Okay, so you have, if you look at this, it's not a pyramid because it doesn't come to a point, it's a prism. And prism has rectangular sides. So anytime you see a shape within a prism that's not a rectangle, you know that's the base. So since I see a triangle right here, I know that my two bases are triangles. So you have two triangles, and a triangle has 1, 2, 3 sides, which means I'm going to have 3 rectangles coming off of those. Okay, well this rectangle, or sorry, this triangle right here has a height of 6 and a base length of, well, this is the same as this, so a base of 8. And 2 goes into 8 4 times. 4 times 6 is 24. That triangle is the same because base lengths, or sorry, not base lengths, your two bases of a prism are always the same. So we have 2 triangles that are each 24. Now I need to find these different rectangles. So let's take a look. I see this front rectangle right here, and that has a measurement of 8 by 6. So base times height, which is 8 by 6, is 48. Okay, I need to find another rectangle, and I see it along the bottom right here. This is 8, and this is the same as this. So if this is 8, so is this. So this is a 8 by 8. And 8 times 8 is 64. Now I only have one more rectangle that I need to search for within my drawing, and I see it right here along the back. This is 10 by 8. So 10 times 8 is 80. Go ahead and add all those together, 24 plus 24 plus 48 plus 64 plus 80, and you get 240. We were talking about yards, and it's area, so it's squared. So that has an answer of 240 yards squared. Okay, the last one for this page is problem 5, and it says find the volume, and we're dealing with a rectangular prism, so that's area of the base times the height. Well, the area of the base is a rectangle, and the area of a rectangle is length times width. So length times width times height. Well, my length is 7.5 or 7.5. My width is 3 3/4. Well, 3/4, hopefully a lot of you have that memorized as 0.75. If you didn't, you would take 3 divided by 4 into your calculator, and you'd get 0.75, and then just put the 3 in front. And then your height is 1 3/4 or 1.75. Okay, go ahead and multiply all those, and you get the volume to be 49.2 yards squared. Now, as a bonus, since we don't have that many of these, go ahead and try to find the surface area of this and hit pause, and then don't press play till you solve it. Okay, those of you that solved for the surface area and you're back with us now, hopefully you got a surface area of 95.625 yards squared. So that would be, you should have had a total of 6 different sides because you had to find the top and bottom, the right and left, and the front and the back. And you added all those rectangles together and you got 95.625 yards squared. But that was a bonus question because it was just asking you to find the volume. You should have gotten 49.2. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the next page, problem number 6. It says, find the area of this shape using triangles, okay? It says that S is 8, so this right here is 8. Oops, sorry, that's 8, that's S. And A is 11, so this is A, which means that this right here is 11. Okay, well, this right here is one triangle, and the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. They gave me those two measurements. The height is 11 and the base is 8. They just used the different variables of S and A, but they're still meaning the base and height. So 8 times 11 divided by 2. Well, 2 goes into 8 4 times, and 4 times 11 is 44. So that's the area of one of these triangles. But this weird shape, which, what is it? If you said hexagon, you're right, because it's a 6-sided figure. It's made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 identical triangles. So if I found the area of one triangle, which I did, it's 44, and multiply that by 6, I'll get the total area of this inside figure. So 6 times 44, go ahead and plug that into your calculator, and you should get 264 feet squared. Okay. Our next one says use the following shape for numbers 7 through 10, and this is a rectangular prism. And that was the first question. What's it called? Well, it doesn't come to a point, so I know it's a prism. And then you say, according to your base shape, well, my base shape is a rectangle, so it's a rectangular prism. Draw a net. Well, you have your big base right there, and then the skinny side connecting it, and then you have the big top and the skinny side connecting it, and then you have the two sides coming off. And there you go. There is a, whoops, you can't even see it. There is a net drawing. As long as you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different sides, and they're all connected, odds are you did it correctly. Okay, find the total surface area. Well, I have my top and bottom. Okay, well, my top and bottom is 15 by 14. And there's 2 of those. So 2 times 15 times 14 is 210, which means the top and bottom is 420. Okay, and then you have the front and back right here. The front and back is made up of 15 by 3. And there's 2 of those because the front's the same as the back. So 2 of 15 times 3 is 45, and 45 times 2 is 90. So I did top, bottom, front, back. Now I just need the sides, so the right and the left. Well, the right and left is 14 by, this is the same as this, so 14 by 3. And there's 2 of those because the right is the same as the left. So 2 of the 14 times 3, 14 times 3 is 42, and 42 times 2 is 84. So go ahead and add all those together, and you get a total of 594 square inches. Okay, not only do they want you to find the surface area of this shape, but they also want you to find the volume. The volume is the area of the base times the height. Well, the base shape is a rectangle, so length times width times height. The length is 15, the width is 14, and the height is 3. Go ahead and plug all that into your calculator, and you get 630, and they were talking about inches, so cubic inches. If you've gotten 100% on this so far, great job. There's only one more page left. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn the page. And our favorite word problems. Stop that groaning. I can hear it even though I know you're not here with me. I know that you're doing it. Stop it. Okay, number 11 says a triangular road sign has a height of 8 feet and a base of 16.5 feet. How much larger in area is this sign than one with a, okay, so they're jumping ahead. They're talking about area of a triangle. So triangle area is base times height divided by 2. They said it has a height of 8 and a base of 16.5. Go ahead and divide that by 2. So 2 goes into 8 4 times, and 1, 4 times 16.5. You should get an area of 66 feet squared. But they said, that's just the first sentence. Then they said, how much larger in area is that sign than one with, so same type of shape. It has a height of 4 feet and a base of 8.25 feet. So you could go 8.25 times 4 divided by 2, or divide 2 into 4 and get 2, and 2 times 8.25, however you want to do it, as long as you get an area of 16.5. Is that the final answer? No. They said how much larger. So alarm bell should be going off that means you're subtracting. So how much bigger is this one than this one? So 66 minus 16.5. Go ahead and type that into your calculator, and you should get 49.5. Okay, and 49.5 feet squared. That's one possibility. We would accept this answer. However, if it's multiple choice and this isn't one of the things, and they say how many times bigger is it, well, then you would take the bigger one, put it over this one, and see how many times it divides into it. So 66 divided by 16.5, you get 4. So you could also say it's 4 times as big. Either one of those are acceptable, and they didn't really specify what they were looking for. Like, do you want to know how many times bigger it is, or like exactly how many square feet bigger it is? So I would accept either one, but if they were more specific, then one of these would be the right answer, or if it was multiple choice. They wouldn't put both of these answers as multiple choice, it would be one or the other. And that's how you find each of them. You either subtract the big from the small, or you put the bigger one over the smaller one and find how many times bigger it is. Okay, let's take a look at our last word problem. It says the world's largest chocolate bar is a huge rectangular prism weighing more than a ton. The bar is 9 feet long, 4 feet tall, and a foot wide. How many cubic feet of chocolate does it have? Is that a volume or surface area? Hopefully you said volume, because cubic was your hint that it was talking about volume. So strategy, we want to find the volume, and volume equals area of the base times the height. It's a rectangular prism, so length times width is the base shape, and then times the height. It says it has a length of 9, a width of 1, and a height of 4. Go ahead and plug all those in. 9 times 1 is 9, 9 times 4 is 36. And we are talking about feet, so it is cubic feet. That is the volume of the bar. So your equation, I would say, like, find the volume using volume equals length times width times height, and then the final answer would be 36 cubic feet. Great job, you guys. You pretty much have mastered all the different concepts of the geometry unit for Math 6. So proud.